Now, everyone talks about how painful their first breakup was, but I have yet to experience the pain I felt when I broke up with my best friend of all time. It was the most painful thing, especially because once I cut her off, I would have been completely alone. Now, for context, me and this girl met in middle school. I was the transfer student, and because we were both black, people continued to confuse us all the time. Now, we only had one class together, so the way she tells it is on like day 2 of this new school, I was in class talking loud as hell to my desk mates, and the teacher was like, "M, stop talking." M was reading her book like a good student, so she was like, "I wasn't talking, like, girl, no, I wasn't talking." And even the girls at her table started to vouch for her. They were like, she was not talking. She was literally just reading her book. And I finally got the hint that, oh, the teacher's talking about me, so I'm gonna be quiet. After this, she could not stand me, hated me even. So naturally, the teacher sat us together because we, and I quote, looked like friends. Now, was the teacher being a little racist? Absolutely. But this kicked off a long friendship of me doing shit that would get both of us in trouble.
7 years later.
And we were both going through pretty hard times. I can admit that my poor mental health really did make me a bad friend to her at times, and I couldn't really handle being around big groups of people at the time. And that was the only thing I was getting invited to, so I would just stay my ass at home. And it also felt like she was my number one person, like all the time, and I wasn't hers anymore, and that kind of just hurt too much. After some time, I kind of just realized I was the only one putting an effort into us being friends, so I just stopped reaching out. And sure enough, I did not hear from her for like a while, for like a month and a half. And for me, that was painful because at the time, sorry, I am a high maintenance friend. I do need to hear from my people more than once a month. The people I'm really close with more than once a month. Um, so I just sent her a formal message just saying like why we should officially end things. And at the time, it felt like we left on good terms. And I walked away with the understanding that when life wasn't so messy, maybe the two of us could rekindle. Now, this hurt. This hurt bad, bad. Real, real bad. It wasn't just the breakup that hurt, but it's also the fact that we were planning our lives together like, oh, when we get rich, we're going to do this. We should go on vacation here. We're going to raise our kids together over here. It felt like my life was falling apart before my very eyes in more ways than one. And having to come to terms with the fact that I will now have to brave the elements of life completely and utterly on my own, by myself. Because when I cut her off, all of my other friends were through her. So they would stand with her and more than likely just like not be friends with me anymore, which I understand. I would do the same thing if I was them. But the way I dealt with it, I didn't for a while. I could not hear her voice, I could not hear her name without crying for the first like 6 months. At one point, I had to block her because I kept lurking on her page like a bitter ex. I never actually put myself back out there officially, but after quite some time, I started going to new places, meeting people with like common interests, but still to this day, I have never been so close to another person, and I'm afraid that I never will. But honestly, some other fears I have like surrounding her is just that she might look back on like certain memories that I might hold fondly and think, oh wow, that was so amazing. Oh, I'm so glad that I had her as a friend at that time. And that she just sees it as maybe like a waste of time. Because my friends mean the absolute world to me. And I know that we probably shouldn't be friends again, But genuinely, one day I hope I can sit across from her at a dinner table and not only thank her, but also apologize as well, because if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't still be here today. I'm at a place now where I truly am ready for a new best friend, but it's really hard to trust people. And on top of that, I'm now in my 20s. So making friends as an adult is a whole nother ball game, but that is a story for a different video.
This time I want